Welcome everyone, my name is Luca and this is my good friend Marco.
Hey, welcome! You are about to form a new random access memory.
And today's memory is about artificial intelligence. Are we going towards Skynet or heaven on earth? What's your take on it?
Today, my take is actually a series of questions. What is required to go from narrow AI, which is the thing we have today, to the artificial general intelligence, which is, let's say, Skynet or the heaven on earth? And also how human intelligence develop. It looks like a very inefficient process, like the natural selection. It's a wasteful, it's like a trial and error, a slow process. And at the end of the day, shall we really try to develop artificial general intelligence? I mean, is it a wise thing to do? And even if we don't try, is it possible that the artificial general intelligence developed spontaneously? Unfortunately, I think yes. And talking about wise things, is it wise for us to merge with AI? What is the real goal of the Neuralink Corporation?
So, all good points. I think that okay, let's start from the beginning. There are theories that say that we as a humankind have some kind of ancestral memory, which means, okay, I'll make it clearer. You kind of know how to crawl. You kind of know what fire is and what a lot of things are when you're born, I guess. So if you think about it, there is a kind of a common memory
The
that
instinct, let's
that
say.
we have intrinsic in us, which could be DNA, could be something else. So to answer one of your questions, I think the intelligence was a process in years and years and years, in hundreds of years, in thousands of years, where people did stuff, were able to participate in actions and reactions, and in some little part, they were able to encode what happened in the DNA of the following future progeny. So I don't think it's something that came up out of the blue. It was a sum of experiences and ideas and then whatever that was propagated through the genome of the humankind. So
Yes, but this is exactly why I fear that the AGI, so artificial general intelligence, might be able to develop whatever we do. I mean, it's not that we develop it, but it could actually grow, because it's like if you have a system, like what we are at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we want to survive, so we need energy. So we
I'm
are
not so
we
sure
are
about survival, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone, of course. There are in today's world is a bit different, but let's say, like, how did the intelligence emerge from Earth? Like, at the end of the day, we only need energy. We
How did
need
emerge?
to reproduce ourselves, so we
How
need
did he
to make.
emerge? If I was trying to hunt something and you were trying to hunt something, and I realized that skipping specific points of the path and going towards another direction instead of just going straight on and maybe diverging and going into another angle, and we're able to capture two pieces of meat instead of one, I was better than you. So in some way, I was more clever than you.
Yeah,
That's one way you could look
I
at it.
disagree with the example, but
No, go
I
for it.
under.
That's why
Yeah.
we're talking. Why?
No, I disagree with the fact that in the example you are better than me. I mean, you could choose like two random
Oh,
people,
it's not about who is better. It's about who's better. Okay, I
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah. No, it was just a stupid joke, but
No, I
yeah, I
gotcha. I
mean,
gotcha.
you you understand that this is the point, because it's we need to find energy. We need to make ourselves abundant, uh, and we need the conservation of ourselves in a complex environment, because physics is complex. And the two scariest things of physics are actually gravity and inertia. Gravity, because it's like if something is falling,
And a very
you
good movie.
better. What? Sorry.
It's a very good movie as well.
I don't know. I mean, I just saw the trailer. I didn't saw the whole movie.
Very good one. Go for
but it seems quite static, actually, to tell the truth.
It is, but let's say, okay, a little aside, it has the best explanation for space curvature travels, where they basically take a piece of paper, they curve it, they put a paper perforating the piece of paper, and you are able to see how traveling at a very, very high speed and between dimensions is. You basically enter from one side and exit on the other side because you're curving the space in front of you. Instead of doing from A to B, you do a lot less. But that's for example another.
You introduce the concept of paper, and you basically are serving me a very interesting question, because it's like we talk a lot about artificial intelligence, but we don't talk so much about artificial consciousness. But actually, we don't know. We don't know if intelligence and consciousness are the same thing. And I will give you an example that involves paper. But first, I want to ask you, what do you think? I mean, you think that whatever is intelligence is necessarily conscious? Or it could be that something is intelligent but not conscious? This is the question.
I think we have two kinds of intelligence. One is not the conscious one, I think, and the other one is the unconscious one. So what the conscious one is you are very smart. You can do a lot of things in a faster way than other people, or having a lot of shortcuts that allows you to be better or faster, not better, but faster. And the other one is the complicated one, and it's the passive one, and it's what we call intuition. So you are able to not think faster, but think smarter. Remember when we talked about Blue Ocean and the chess play, right?
Deep blue.
Deep Blue and the chess play. Sorry, I was.
Never mind.
I was multitasking. It doesn't work for me very well.
Yeah, so, we are men after all. So.
Yeah, we are just limited to one.
So, we are not multi-thread, to go back to last week episode.
Least to go back to the previous one again. So intuition, from my perspective, from a lot of other studies that I read, is not so much as being faster, but being clever. What I mean is, you don't follow the whole path of the tree. You direct yourself to the tree that is shorter, avoiding a lot of paths that are not useful for your task. And you do it in a way that is kind of unexplainable. As in, sometimes I'm able to do stuff that if you ask me why I do it, I would ask you because it makes more sense for me. But to explain why I choose 10 steps instead of 20, or maybe the other way around, 20 steps instead of 10, it's kind of complicated. But that's what I say about unconscious one. It's a mix of experience, inputs, elaboration of the inputs in a fast way, but also what I call intuition again. So I'm kind of sure that we are not going to see Skynet very soon, because intuition is not an easy thing to create or to make something that evolves. You can do it, but it doesn't. It's not something that it's very fast to evolve. Even if you have a lot of computing power, you would need to have a lot of power. That's fine, but distributed power and not.
But you can. So, but you can still brute force your way into consciousness.
Yes,
like imagine this. Take a woman, okay, called Amber. Let's make this virtual woman. No, it's a real woman called Amber from the United States, whatever. You just scan her brain, down to the molecular level. And then you have such a strong computer that you can simulate every neuron of her brain down to the molecular level. So every protein with all the atoms inside, you know, like you can really simulate the proteins, you can really simulate the mitochondria in terms of cell membrane, you know, like a full-blown molecular level model of the brain. If you are fast enough at this point, like, is she conscious or not? Like, she just go out from the scanner, she's the same Amber than before, she just walks away, but then there is a copy of her, a virtual copy of her. So it's like, as I said, she walks away, she's the same girl as before, but then there is a digital copy of her. And this digital copy is exactly her, as all her memory, as all everything. It's a complete copy.
Except that it's not. No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's not her. Let's say
No,
that
it's not
her.
It's not that it's not her. It's a little more subtle. You know that in theory, what you are now, it's different from a second ago, and it's different from 1 second in the future, right? What is the difference between you now and you in 5 seconds, or 10 seconds, or a year, or a month?
Well, in 10 seconds, the difference would be pretty minor and pretty. But like if you take myself when I was a kid, I don't have one single cell of that kid from before. I don't have one single molecule of water, which is sort of 70% of our body.
Your skin
is like
different second by second.
Everything is different. Like the only thing that is persistent is the information. So I still have some memory from that kid a long time ago. So it's like the information, it's still here, but every single molecule is different because I drink it and I pee it out.
Let's make different. You remember the experiment about the two twins, where you have two twins, identical twins, fraternal twins, and one goes to space and the other one remains on Earth. And
yes, very famous.
A year.
Very famous thought experiment.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So when the other twin come back to Earth, because the time passed in a different way, they are different, right? So that applies.
So you mean a time dilation, like because of relativity, the one in space is younger.
Time passes in a time. The effect of time is different for both of them, right?
Yes.
So what I mean is, time is a key in every process. And again, remember the saying that says, if you have 1 million monkeys and you gave them 1 million years, they can produce, typing on a computer, they can produce every book ever written by humankind.
Yes.
There is a but. It's 1 million monkeys, every book ever written, but it's 1 million years. So time changes. And also, fun fact, it's a philosophical as well, time doesn't even exist. Is something that humankind created. What exists is the constant changing of everything. Time, as we considered it, is an invention of the human mind to understand, or to try to understand, the passing of the change. Because when we are all dead in the future and humankind is not there anymore, changing is going to be there, time is not.
Yes, and this brings me to the next level, you know, like we have this simulated Amber, okay? So the real Amber walk away, the simulated Amber is still in the computer. Now I ask you, what if you simulate Amber on paper? So you have 1 million monkey
Okay.
and they just write down, you know,
Every piece of the genome and whatever. Okay.
yeah, they just write down the simulation. So you ask, what's your name? And all the monkey try to process the sound wave, the vibration, and everything down to the molecular level. They simulate all the brain. You have billions upon billions of monkey that produce like I don't know, one black hole of sheets of paper, like billion upon billion of tons of kilotons of megatons of paper.
Google
Let's say
tons, yeah.
Google tons of paper. They just write down everything, and then all the reaction in her brain elaborate a reply. So on paper they figure out some signaling, some electric signaling, and they send it to a simulation of a mouth which say, my name is Amber. Okay, so actually maybe 1 month went by because the monkey are kind of slow, you know. That's
Fair enough.
typical. So it's like you ask, what's your name? And 1 month later, you have this mouth that tells you, my name is Amber. So you have something that is intelligent there because you ask a question, you got the expected reply, and you know that the thing that was simulated has all the memory, all the personality of Amber, but everything happened on paper. It's not in the computer. They wrote it down. They did all the calculation down to the molecular level, and they give you a reply. So we have something that is intelligent, but is she experiencing something or not? This is the question. So is it conscious or
So
not?
it's writing or reading. Let's talk about IT. It's writing memory or reading memory. That's what you're saying. It's basically just exposing a series of cells, or it's writing on those cells at the same time. That's what you're asking, if I understand correctly.
You also need to write, like while she's talking and saying, my name is Ember, then you need to send back the signal because she needs to hear her own voice, you know.
That's fine. What I'm saying is, I am XYZ. It's a read-only process at the end of the day.
Yes. But this is beside the point.
No. I'm saying one thing is simulating writing of something. One thing is simulation of reading. Reading doesn't imply intelligence. Writing does. As in, you could create something that says whatever you want, but you to be able to say,
okay,
I was called X, but now I'm called Y. That implies that you're writing something, so you are making a decision.
No, but I think you are cutting short, because she replied like this not because she read from some memory, but because her whole brain react like this, you know. It's like a reaction to your question. If you asked what's your favorite food, she would have said pizza, you know, because Amber loves pizza or whatnot. It's like there is an interaction, like she's clearly intelligent.
She's recognizing patterns.
Yeah, but so does the real Amber, you know.
No, like I'm talking about the simulated one. The simulated one.
The one simulated on paper. I mean,
yeah, she recognizes patterns as the AI that we have at the moment. So far, I'm saying so far.
So, like what you're saying is that if you take Amber and you simulate her on paper, she's no longer an artificial general intelligence.
It's still pattern recognition. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like it's really difficult to define. I mean, it's really difficult to define what makes us an artificial general intelligence at the end of the day.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, I guess the ability sometimes when we are blessed to be able to meta think, as in not think inside of what we are as of our system, but think outside of it. Because what I perceive as real intelligence is the ability, consciously or unconsciously, to think in a meta way. So to be able to abstract ourselves from what we are, our situation, and think about it and modify it to be what we think it should be. when a machine is able to think out of the system, it's got also, this brings me to a little step that is interesting.
Wait, just I want to tell you
Yeah.
that according to your definition of artificial general intelligence, I think that all the politicians in Italy, for example, are not
Nope.
qualifiable as artificial
Nope.
general intelligence. I think they are narrow. They are narrow AI.
They are real
Yeah.
deficiency. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay, but this said, okay,
another question
go
that
on.
comes to my mind is, if we want a real AI to be to be like us or potentially better than us, okay, how,
Yes.
if we are not able to think outside of the system in a meta way, how are we able to create something that is better than us if you're limited to what we are? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I mean, I did an algorithm that paints. So you give it a photo and it does a painting. You can find it on GitHub, and I will share the link in the description. And I have to admit, without any false modesty, let's say, that it paints way better than I do. So it's like, how is it possible? I mean, if it's me who wrote it, like it surpassed my ability to paint.
It has trained
easily.
more. It has trained more than you in a shorter period of time. That's my understanding.
Yeah, it's like, I think we can do something that it's even smarter than we are. And the thing, it's quite scary, but there is a way out. There is a really way out. And I think it's like the reward function. So usually AI programmers always have a reward function. For example, if you program a software to play Super Mario, okay, you can put a reward function that the more you go right and the more you score points, yeah, it's like it's your reward function, you know. But like in the past, what they did was only extrinsic reward function. So you have an extrinsic and an intrinsic reward function. And the extrinsic one are like the coins, the money, the points, the distance that you traveled, and so on. But the intrinsic one are very important, because the intrinsic one are like the curiosity. So if you satisfy your own curiosity, the empathy, so the ability to feel like someone else, and this intrinsic value for me are kind of the way to go if you want, if you don't want Skynet and you want paradise on Earth. I give you an example. Do you know people who had babies recently, like people who have kids, mothers or fathers? The point is this: like, if you think about a father or a mother, it's incredibly more capable than the son. You know, like when a son is born, he's basically incapable. Like, his skull is very soft, so it's really easy to deform. So it could be killed very easily. It has no competence in motion. It basically can't move. It can barely swallow some food that is directly fed into his mouth. So it is absolutely incapable. No, sorry for the description, but this is what we are when we are born. At the end of the day, in the beginning of the day instead. And if you think, like, the parents are infinitely more strong and infinitely more intelligent and infinitely more competent, but they have this drive, you know, they have this drive to help the baby to survive, to make it thrive, to make it grow.
Someone would call it an implicit imperative in our DNA to make our future able to survive it. But yeah.
Yes, that's the point, because it's an intrinsic reward, you know. It's not an extrinsic. It's not the money or it's not the points, or it's not the your salary or how beautiful you are. It's not an extrinsic
or the fact
value.
that you want to be a YouTuber, for example, and make money out of thin air, or be an actress or an actor in whatever business you're thinking of.
Yeah, these are all extrinsic reward, but we have an intrinsic reward. So if we are able to set an intrinsic reward for our artificial general intelligence, which is like help humans to thrive, help humans to conquer the Milky Way galaxy, etc. So if we give this a reward, in that case, we are safe from Skynet, I think. Like, because if the AI, of course, the AI understands that we are infinitely less capable than he is. We are slow, we have little memory, we are stupid, but he has this drive to help us succeed, to help us grow, and to help us better ourselves. In this case, I think we are pretty fine. We should be safe from Skynet, unless it misunderstands, like unless it thinks, okay, I want to help them thrive, so I kill them all because they are pathetic, let's say. Like, unless there is a misunderstanding.
You reached a point that it's my kind of fear, and it is, look at humankind from an external perspective, an impartial one. Look at how, from the day we were born as humankind, we started destroying the environment that we are in. Look at how we kind of kill each other for stupid reasons. And think about it logically. If you were to evaluate the future and the value of the humankind in the context of reality itself, I think you would value that humankind is a cancer that is destroying itself. So logically speaking, we have no reason whatsoever to exist from a pure logical point of view.
Well, I respectfully disagree, because actually I think we are screwing it, but it's kind of normal in the history of Earth, Also, the first plants that lived, the first cells that learn how to do photosynthesis, basically they kept all the CO2 and they just dumped oxygen, and the oxygen level was too high and the Earth cooled down a lot. Like, they also screw it completely. But then after a mass extinction, things went worse, but then they went better. And I think we are still in time. Now we are screwing up everything, but if we actually figure out how to overcome the global warming or the pollution problem, then we can unlock the key to occupy not only Earth, but the solar system. So we can tinker with life. We can create artificial intelligence. We can create artificial life, reprogram cells, make them
if
able
we can
to
survive
live.
if we can survive the scorn and the hate and the ideas about people that believe that only God should create life and humankind shouldn't.
Yeah, but I hope and I think that over the long run, the culture that will prevail, so the culture that will be accepted, will be the most versatile and the most powerful and the most intelligence.
Couple of thousand years and we should be fine.
Of course, I don't expect the flat earthers to conquer the solar system, let's say. I wouldn't bet on them.
Let's try not to go there and finish this aside with, if you believe that Earth is flat, somewhere along the line you didn't get enough of the common ancestral gene in your fucking body. But that's all I'm gonna say about it.
Let's say that you probably had a wrong training set.
Yeah, when they were distributing the brains, you were kind of unjustified absent. Yeah.
Yeah, you went to buy a Coke.
We went to the bathroom and it was too late.
So it's time to say goodbye. Thank you for staying with us.
Thank you very much.
We wish you a happy week.
And to see you next week with a new random access memory. Stay frosty and safe.